Hey guys, so just to clarify something, I don't know what happened in all the confusion at the HFC. There's a big debate going on about the scale length of this Hamer Chaparral, and I think I mistakenly pulled up that it's 24 inch and I've measured it. Well, that was completely wrong. It's 24 and a half, and I knew it was 24 and a half all along, and I think someone else said that, so I made myself look a right twat on there. But there you go, 24 and a half, and I'll take a 2 foot rule here. Just 24 inches, I hope you can see that. See what the camera's upside down. 24 inch, you see that? Down is up, up is down, the camera's wrong way around. So anyway, we go with 24 inch, and we're right up there, right to the edge of the Floyd Rose, another half inch on top of that, and we're where the strings hit the saddles. 24 and a half inch scale length. So that is clarified. So today what I'm going to do is, I know the guitar's in a stupid angle, it's still in the case. I'm ready to start working on this guitar, but what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be measuring the fret wire. I'm going to order some fret wire. I've also been commissioned by Dave to go and buy a new block. We're going to go with a big brass block, and I am umming and ahhing whether to get a 42mm or a 37. We have got so much clearance in there, I'm thinking a 37 is going to be enough. I don't want to go with a 42 for a plain simple reason as if we're going with a thicker block, when it goes down or up or down, right, it's probably going to hit the back plate. And I'm going to go with a safe 37mm. I will measure it first. I may, you know what, looking at that, we are going to get away with a 42. Why don't I order both and I'll return one if it's not quite right. Let's just measure that now while we're here. It's looking like it's going to be a 42. Let me get a rule that is not 10 miles long. Right, here you go. And there is, that's a 42mm block. Okay, we're going to go with a 42 because we do have at least 3mm clearance here. So I'm going to go with 42mm big block. I'm going to go and order that today. Springs are fine. What a lovely, lovely guitar. What I can do today, if I indeed do start this today, is I could remove the frets, but I think what I really am going to do is I'm just going to go and order the block. We're not changing the stud posts, we've decided that because they didn't come with the new Tremolo. I said, well, why change them if it's not necessary? Why fix it if it's not broken? So we're actually going to go with that. So anyway, just want to explain something about my camera, by the way. The camera's broke where the screen stabilises itself when you turn the screen 180 degrees. It's not, so I'm looking at an LED screen which is upside down at the moment, which makes it really, really difficult for me to film. That's why you're only seeing the guitar. I'm going to go and order a new camera later. Another reason I've not ordered one yet is my internet is off. I've had one of those weeks where nothing seems to have gone right, apart from a refret I just did. So hopefully I'll get that sorted later. But anyway, that was just a quick update. It probably isn't going to tie in completely with the video, but you know, hey ho, who cares? At least you've got some more information. But I'll be back with another update later. Okay guys, we are now at the stage where we can start getting to work on this Chaparral. But before I do that, there's a couple of other little things I need to get right and make sure right before I start the work. Otherwise I'm going to be waiting about to put things right later. So what we're doing first is the new Floyd Rose Tremolo. I'm going to get rid of this block. It's a 32mm. We're sticking on a 42mm big brass block. This is not an FU tone one. It's made by some guy somewhere in England. They are precision made. They do fit an official original Floyd Rose. So I'm just going to make sure this fits. So obviously I'm going to have to dismantle the original. Very, very nice. I've fitted these myself on some of my own guitars and they're fantastic. What we need to do is make sure we're getting these holes in the right area. So number to the back, you can see that. And it's going to give us, I've already checked the cavity, there's plenty of room in there. 42mm will fit, there's plenty of room in there. We've got about 3mm to spare behind the backing plate. So that's what I'm going to check in a moment. What else I plan to do today is, I'm just going to prep the guitar today. I'm going to, obviously, I don't think I've plugged it in yet. I'm going to plug it in and play it. before I do any work. But what I'm going to do then is I'm obviously going to remove the strings, take the tremolo off, take the hardware off, or what hardware needs to be removed off. I will be checking the electrics obviously before I remove anything, and once that's done we are going to get the neck set straight. We're not going to do that first. We're going to remove the frets. I'm going to remove the frets using an adapted soldering iron to get some heat in there, and we're going to remove them really carefully, hopefully not get too much chipping, ideally no chipping. That does happen. Recently I've been doing quite a lot of refrets lately, and not been getting any chipping, and that is always a bonus. But if we do, it's not too much of a problem. But hopefully today I will get the guitar ready for the new frets. The new fret wire has arrived. I'm using Syntom's Elite, which is 25% nickel silver, very hard. But I do believe, is it the last 4 or the last 5 fret jobs I've done have been with Syntom's Elite. Really, really like it. It is difficult to work, obviously, because it's so much harder than, certainly much harder than the regular 12%, and the harder 18% I've been using, pretty easy to work. But 25% is a little bit more difficult to work. Not as difficult as stainless, probably on the same kind of level as Jescar Gold Evo fret wire, probably the same kind of hardness. I really, really like it. Like I said, I've done my last 4 or 5 jobs with that. Everyone that's received their guitars, or, well, one was not a guitar, one was a, it was a bouzouki. And everyone's been happy with the fret wire so far, so no reason to complain about that. One other thing I'm having to look to do, oh yeah, I did buy some, what have I done with it? We are going to need to shim the nut, because the nut is cut too low. The last guy who did the fret job, I totally agree with Dave, that the guy who did the last fret job did it shoddily, lazily, and because his frets were already, he just took a stone across, he didn't re-crown the frets. Those frets could have been worked. I could have worked those frets and got it all, and put a shim under the nut there, and would have been right as rain. But Dave's decided he wants a full refret, which is fine by me, and that is why I'm here. So I'm going to crack on with that, get that block on there, and once that's done, we'll move the guitar, we'll move the camera, and we'll start getting those frets out. I've already jumped forward a little bit with stripping the tremolo, and I've removed the saddles and made sure that these inserts have not fallen out, and we've put the adjuster screw or tightening screw back in, and I lay them down in the order they're going to go back on. So pretty straightforward. As you work, come off in that order, stay in that order. We're just going to remove this block now, checking that everything underneath goes back in the correct place. What we're going to do first is we're just going to remove the screws on the new block. These, by the way, I don't know who makes them, you get them in England, and they're about, delivered, they're about £20 or Great British pounds sterling is the currency over here, pound sterling, GBP you probably know it as. That would equate to around, nowadays, the exchange rate's so bad for us over here, you're probably looking at about $23 American. But anyway, is that 3mm on there? I do believe it is, they're really tight. So around about $23 delivered, which is not too expensive. I think a FU tone one is going to cost you, in England, you pay roughly double that, probably a bit more with import tax. You probably pay almost, wow, probably $65 to get one shipped over to England now. A bit of import tax on top, that's $75, which is a lot of money, considering you can get one for $23, $24. But an FU tone one probably costs you 3 times more. Don't get me wrong, I've bought the FU tone ones myself in the past from Adam Reevers, and they are fantastic. But you know, why do that if you can get one for a third the price? Why buy a Hamer over a Gibson? You know exactly what I'm saying. But anyway, here we go. All we're going to do is we're going to take off the block, put this block in. We're not going to do that. We're going to insert one screw first, the middle one, just so we don't lose anything. I've already forgotten which way the number goes. It goes to the back, and we'll just tighten this one in there. We're not going to tighten it, we're just going to get it in position. Just loosen that one a little, there you go. It really is, that's as difficult as it is. Not at all. I'd like this one to go straight, fiddly little thing, but we're in there. So without tightening them up, just get them close. I'm just going to straighten up this spring underneath there. And there you go, well, pretty good. Tighten up. Alright, that's it, and we have a new block on there. Make sure these are tight, we don't want them coming loose. And there you go, how's that? So the original block, bang his screws back in. Because Dave doesn't want this old Floyd Rose, I don't think he's going to need it, I'm going to offer him. I'm going to ask him if he's going to let me keep it. I'm going to obviously offer him some money for it, but I could certainly make use of a Floyd Rose tremolo. I could probably stick one in my Strat. You know, I could route actual tremolo hole on my Strat I'm building, parts caster, to accept a Floyd Rose. So, you know, be in Dave's interest really to let me have it. He'll get paid, he'll get some money knocked off. How's that? Pretty good idea. So there we go. There is the new block on there. Looks good, doesn't it? Just looks real good. Gives it some real weight. Then putting the saddles back in and on the floor. Get them in and under the screw. It's not rocket science. Pulling it back. Blah 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 blah. And that's it. Nice. No need to tighten these because I'm going to have to set them for the. In fact, I will tighten them. I'll tighten them to where I think they ought to go. I've set enough Floyds up to know that to know roughly where the saddles do go. But then again, this is a different scale length. It does make a difference. It could make a big difference. Certainly will make a difference. I don't need to tighten them, do I really? But I think I will do. I'll just give them that little nip. So I'm going to crack on with this, and we're going to move on to the next part of the process, which will be getting the frets out. Moving on with this Hamer refret, I'm just going to show you, before I start the work, as much as I can, I'm going to show you where the last guy who's supposed to be a big name luthier in England, how he skimped on this refret, and this is going to cause me problems because there's chips he's left in here, and I'm going to have to repair these chips that are not my fault. So I'm going to show the chipping, and I'm going to keep my hand, and it's just this side of mine, so I'm going to zoom in, and you're going to be looking. I'm going to tell you where to be looking, and you want to be looking in this kind of area around here, and I will point out, and I can't see proper from this end. Let me get this area here, this kind of area around here. There's old chips in there. There's a big chunk ready to fly out just here. These are going to fly out when I remove these frets. I don't know how much you can see there. There is a big bit there that should have been glued in. So whoever did this refret, I'll tell you straight, they do know what they're doing, which makes the refret worse. The fact that we know what they're doing, right, then gives them no excuse to skimp on what they're skimped on. And there are chunks and chips all around this kind of area, around here, that they've just ignored. And I'm going to have to put that right. So it is going to increase how much Dave is going to pay for this refret, because I'm going to have to add at least another hour to the job, because these are going to need repairing, and I know these are going to chip when I pull them out, these frets. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the frets, and I'm going to explain how I'm going to do that. And I do have an adapted soldering iron, 40-watt soldering iron. Let me zoom out again. Really difficult to use this camera now. The image is upside down. But anyway, to show you what I have. I have an adapted soldering iron with an adapted bit on the end there, and there's a groove in there, and that just slides over the frets. I'm able to get some heat into the frets. So I'm just going to pause the video. I'm going to turn the camera back on the guitar neck, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to remove these frets. And we're back. So I have two fret pullers. I have my old ones, maybe old but they're fantastic, and I have my new ones from Guitars and Woods in Poland, not Poland, in Portugal, and these are super fine. Where are they? They're there. They get right underneath the fret, but these also are good enough. I'll be using a chip stopper from Stumac. These go under the fret as you pull them out. It's supposed to stop chipping. Does it work? Almost. This is about as close as a real answer as I'm going to give you. Yeah, they do work okay. They are not perfect. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the old fret puller. We are going to take my adapted soldering iron. It's not a soldering iron I use. And we are going to pull this one with the bad chip in there. So what we're going to do is solder iron on there. As you can see, it's as close in as I'm going to get. I do have a new camera on the way. The ribbon on the LED screen on that is broken, so it doesn't, when I turn the LED screen around, it doesn't reorientate the image itself. So I'm getting an upside down image on that LED screen from where I'm sat right now, and it's quite annoying. So like I said, I've got a new camera on the way. Hopefully it'll be here in a couple of days and we can swap over to that one. But anyway, at the moment I am heating up this fret. Probably don't need to heat it this much, but there you go, you can see a bit better there. I'm getting no hissing or no steam. It means these frets were not glued in. Now, I don't know who refretted this guitar, but I do know from Dave who owns this guitar, says it's a big name and you'd be surprised if I told you who he is. So I'm kind of intrigued to know, but you know, at the end of the day I'm not bothered. I fix up that much work that other people have messed up. That's the one we're pulling. So let's get in there. We're going to get right in at the edge and look at that. That's come straight out. Don't even need a chip stopper. And the amount of chip in there already is unbelievable. 1, 2, 3, 4 big chips there. And that piece is already coming off. What we're doing with the piece that's coming off, we're going to make sure it doesn't come off. Get some super glue on there. I do have a better I'm going to take that away, just using your cloth, I'm not bothered, makes no odds. And we're just going to hold that down. So I've already got chips to repair in that one. I'll be using the chip stopper. I'll show you how I use that in a minute. I'm going to take a Stanley blade and just scrape this away. This excess glue that's on there. And there you go, that's one chip already fixed. When I fixed all these chips in this fingerboard, you will not know. I'll be filling it with some rose dust, but already a lot of chip in there. I believe these chips were from my last fret job. Now, don't think I'm going to cut these slots with the Stanley blade because it's not how we do it. I do have a proper saw for this. I got from my TGI fretting kit, and there you go. And it cuts exactly 1/2 millimetre curve. Is it 1/2 millimetre blade, and it cuts to the right depth. And it's just a matter of that. Right, I'm expecting this fingerboard to chip like a bitch. But what we're going to do is we're going to pull another. Right, I'm getting close to that. I'm going to pull one this side now. So same again. These frets were not even glued in. Well, they might be glued in actually because it is something stuck to the bottom of that. Not very good at all though. So anyway, let's crack on, get the next one out. I'll be using the chip stopper on this one, so we'll get the chip stopper over there, move all this come out of the way. That's not enough. Again, I'm getting no steam, I'm getting no hiss. It means I would think that these were not glued in. I can now see, looking at these frets as well, that the radius was not even done properly. The fingerboard was not re-radiused because there's more height on the edge of the frets than there is in the middle. So a very bad refret all round. I'm going to ask Dave to tell me who did this refret. I'm not to name or shame anyone, but it's a terrible refret. The edges of the bevels on these frets is also horrendous. Now, I know the guitar's been sat a while, so there's been no, I should have put some mineral oil all over this fingerboard, but this fret job was terrible. I see a little bit of steam there, not sure. Anyway, let's get in with big G and W one. So yeah, the wood on this is really dry. I'm going to get a chip stopper underneath there. I'm going to try and get it underneath there. That's gone straight under, that should help. Okay, no chipping on that one, that's good, that's pretty hot. Okay, but it's some chipping that has been ignored from the last time that was done. Really, really sad to see that. I'm going to take my time. There will be, unfortunately for Dave, an extra charge. I'll be repairing these. I'm going to have to charge him probably a couple of hours. But I'm sure he won't mind that. At least he's bought the guitar to a proper fret guy. I hate charging people more than I've quoted, but the thing is, end of the day, I've got to be paid for my work. What a terrible fret job this is. The problem with these frets, he has just levelled them. He's not flat, he's not re-radiused them, he's not re-crowned them. He has just gone across, like Dave said, he's probably just gone across with a stone block, which I think he's also done. So, sorry Dave, I'm going to charge you more for this. This is going to cost Dave, with the Floyd Rose and everything setting up, it's going to cost him the best part of £300 when all said and done, plus his postage. But at least the guitar is going to be fantastic when it's done. I had a play with it this morning and I couldn't really get it in tune that well because it wasn't set up right. But I do notice the third switch on the neck pickup is not working properly. It's cutting out on the up position on that pickup. So I'm also going to get in there and check the wiring in there. Maybe it's just I just need to get some switch cleaner in there. Should be nice. I'll go back with this one because it seemed to get under easier. And it did get under, it was so easy. But this is already chipped. These chips, these aren't chips that are happening now, these are chips that were there before and have been ignored. And that is really, really sad. Let's see if we can get one out without heat. Yeah, it's just chipping like a bastard. There's no point in using heat, there's no glue in there. And I don't believe there is any glue in there, so let's just... Now these have just been knocked in. They've not been glued in. Oh, big chip there. So sad. When I've got a chip happening, we'll get some glue on there. And again, that's just fucking chips everywhere. Pardon my French, I did swear there. I don't really swear much anymore. I'm going to leave it in. So yeah, more work in this for me. Okay, back to the heat. I wonder if I can beat that F word out. I very rarely swear nowadays. So you see my dilemma with this. Well, it's not so much a dilemma. These are chips areas that need to be fixed. And I will fix all of them. But what I'm going to do before I fix any of them is I will be re-radiusing the whole fingerboard. And that might fix a lot of the chips areas. Not all of them, because some of them I can see from here are quite deep. and just a little bit of sanding is not going to fix that. Yeah, this is going to chip like a bastard because I've got another big chip there. You won't believe the amount of chips I've got already here. These aren't chips I'm doing, these are chips that were ignored before. So thanks, whoever did this last time. We're going to be, I hope you get named and shamed. Because I am not shy in coming forwards. I will shame you. So there you go. I'm going to crack on with this off camera because I've just sworn twice now. I've said the F word and I've said the B word. Bastard's not really a swear word, but I don't want to be swearing. I'm probably going to swear a little bit of this. So I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to get all of these out and I will come back and show you the chips areas once I've done. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to take one of these out as careful as I can. Terrible fret job. I can see gaps under the frets and everything. I'm now questioning my own. What I was thinking about, this guy knew what he was doing. Maybe he didn't know what he was doing. Because it looks like, on a 12-inch radius, it looks like he's used a, on a 14-inch radius, probably used a 12-inch radius block, or on a 12-inch radius, has used a 10-inch radius block. So the frets are flatter in the middle than they are at the edges. You've got more material at the edges and they're flatter here. You know exactly what I mean. People who know guitars know exactly what I mean. Chip stopper on this one. But you see, look, straight under. Big chip there that hasn't just happened, it was already there. So I'm going to get all of these out and I'll come back and we'll change the camera angle and I will show you the fingerboard as it is when I remove frets. I will just show you there that I'm quite gentle in removing frets. I'm not yanking them out, I'm heating them, I'm taking them out the proper way. These chips are horrendous around this area. Okay. There you go. Now you get a much better idea of what I'm working against here. And all these chips, these are not chips I've done, these are chips that were ignored when the guitar was refretted last. And let's have a quick head count, and this is a rough 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, not including the ones I've done, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32 repair areas there, not including the 4 or 5 I've already done. So what we're going to do is I'm going to heat them up. I'm going to take these last 4 out with you right here, because I know there's going to be a big chip here in a minute. So this is going to take me, if I take 5 minutes per one, what's 5 times 30, 150, that's 2.5 hours. It won't take 5 minutes per one, but it's going to take me a couple of hours to get this sorted out. This job, the whole job, with that not including parts, is going to be 250 quid, I think. These parts are going to be about another 50 quid. I think I've worked it out at £49. So this whole job is going to cost roughly 300 quid. And then with shipping both ways, 25 each way, £350 the guy's going to have to spend to get his guitar back in absolutely superb playing condition with a fantastic refret. My work's always guaranteed. If you're not happy with the work I've done, I will put it right if need be. At my expense, I will collect it, I'll return it to you, and I will pay for the whole process until you're satisfied, until you're happy. This is why I always like to have my clients over and we sit down and we talk and I ask them what they want and they let me know, and I say, right, this is how it's going to be, blah 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 blah, and if anything changes I will let you know. It's why I have every one of my clients' phone number, contact details. There you go, that's come out nice and easy. Don't even look, fell out. That's one that's fell out, but look at this big chip here. It was ignored last time. I hope you can see that. I'm just going to get some glue under it in case anything's moving about. And I'm just going to coat some glue underneath. Here's one that was completely ignored earlier. How's that for you? And getting rid of that is just a matter of, there's a couple of ways we could do that, but easier from this. I'm doing it from the wrong side, but we just scrape. Don't forget, everything will be sanded anyway. We are going to re-radius the whole fingerboard. I like to get as much on film as I can, but without it like interrupting my work, because I've got a lot of work on this month. It's the busiest month I've ever had, ever, and I mean ever, since I've been doing this. I've already got over a month's amount of work in. We're in the second week of August. In fact, we're on August 12th. I've already got enough work to carry me right through this month. My earnings this month are far above anything else I've done in a month. Not far above, but 30% up. You know, that's a good pay rise. I'm not saying it's always going to be like this, but it's nice while it lasts, isn't it? Yeah, straight like that, so that's the heat in there. But look, they were supposed to have been glued in. They're not glued in. If they are, just put some super glue in there. Again, down this end always comes out easier. They come out easier, making me out a bit of a liar. Well, not making me out a liar. You've seen all this. That fret slot is not even wide enough. Now, something about the width or the tang of frets. I always go with 1/2 mil because they're the thinnest you can get. Because if you go too wide, you're going to put back bow in the neck, and we never want that. And then you're going to have a problem getting the neck straight. I've had that problem a couple of times in the past. And you end up back clamping a neck with heat to get it straight again. So you always want to go with a tang that is not too tight where it's going to put any back bow. If you go with a tang like 0.55 millimeters, if 0.5 is too wide, you've got 0.5 times 20, which is going to give you a millimetre extra, and it's going to cause a back bow. And you don't need that. You don't need a back bow at all. Once I get this these frets out, I want to loosen that truss rod, and I want to know that this neck is level. If it's not level, we're going to want to know why. But we need to get as level as possible with the truss rod loose. Doesn't matter if it's a 1/4 of a turn here or there, that's fine. But once we start getting to 1 or 2 turns of a neck still not straight, then we want to be looking at getting the neck straight. And there are certain ways we can do that, and we'll talk about that if we actually come across that problem. Chances are we're not going to, but we don't know what the last guy did on this guitar. The guy that refretted it last. Chip there. It's not so bad, we can fix that one really easily. Not a bad chip at all. So down this end we're okay. The thing is, it's not giving me a chance to stop the chips because once I pull a fret one side it's just popping right out. A good thing about Dave bringing this to me is it's going to be refretted properly. We're going to level the fingerboard. We're going to re-radius the whole fingerboard. We're going to fix every chip. I'll fix all the chips before I re-radius. That way, when I re-radius, we're going to have a completely smooth surface. It's going to be perfectly radius, perfectly level. And what I'll do is I'll also slightly flare open the fret slots with the free edge file, just so the new frets go in easily. Obviously at this end I can't clamp them in because my clamp is not that wide. I can only clamp really from fret 15 downwards. So these I'm going to hammer in anyway. We'll gently tap those in with a fretting hammer, making sure that underneath the guitar is properly supported. I really do care, obviously, about my reputation, and I've got a really, really good reputation. Never had any negative feedback. I've had liars on my page, told lies. That's why I've got 3 1-star ratings on Facebook, but that was all based on lies from a rival shop up the road there. And they know their lies, and so does the owner of the shop at the time. He no longer owns the shop. And I've called him out 1-to-1, and he's backed down because he knows I'm telling the truth. And I'm not one of these people that goes around calling people face to face and saying, right, blah blah blah, come on, let's do it, let's go toe to toe. I want to see you face to face anyway. I must have been really riled that day. But liars, nobody likes a liar, do they? Anyway, there we go. All the frets are out. I don't know what you can see regarding chips, but there are a lot. These are not so bad. One there, nothing there to worry about. One there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fix that one. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. One I fixed 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. These are all okay. 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, really big one, 40, 41, 42, 43, about 44, about 45 areas that need fixing. Some of them may get away with if we do re-radius, which we are going to re-radius anyway. This fingerboard certainly wants treating with mineral oil, which I'm going to do right now. I'll not be working on this today. I'll not be fixing anything. I'm going to show it because this wood is so dry. I'm going to give it a good splattering. Lemon oil, mineral oil, just to rehydrate the wood. Get some in the slots, just to open those slots up just a little bit. Some people are going to come and I say, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't leave that soaking in for blah 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 blah. Let me tell you, I know what I'm doing. We need the wood not cracking and splintering. So I'm going to leave that for a few hours. I'm going to move on to something else. Once this is all dried up, we'll get something on there. I will probably dry it off with a bit of naphtha, which will just evaporate all this off anyway. And we'll come back and we'll start looking at these chipped areas. Just get that back there. Good thing about getting a bit of oil on the body there. It's really good cleaner. Move all that grime off there. It's not going to harm anything. A lot of grime on there. Is that everything cleaned? I like to leave everything in on a video, good or bad. If I make a mistake, you're going to see it. And where I do use a little bit of genius thinking and fix something, you're also going to see it. But that oil basically is already soaked into that wood. It shows you how dry that wood was. I'm going to dry up the edges there. Now I know this guitar's been stored for a few years. It's not been used. Okay. Yeah, a lot of chipped areas there that I've got to repair. No big deal. I'll let Dave know the bad news. Good news, bad news, whatever. All I really need to do, what I should have done earlier, is make sure the truss rod's working. Surely it is. Do I know the truss rod size on this? No idea. It is a knot. That's fantastic news. I will have a knot. Would they use a Gibson size? I imagine they would. Let me just whip out. I have one for an Edwards here, and I know Edwards use a Gibson size, so is that the right one? Yes. The truss rod works, that's great news. That's always good news when the truss rod works. Is it a two-way truss rod? Don't think it is. I'm loosening it. That is a lot of turns for a neck that ought to be straight. That's not promising. Could just be a tight knot. I really don't know. Let's move up just that way so you can see what I'm doing. Which has already had a couple of turns. Maybe it's just a tight knot, I don't know. We've got to remove this knot anyway. I think it's just a tight knot, you know. Because I've slackened that off a good 3 turns. Yeah, and that's just a tight knot. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove a knot completely. We're going to stick some petroleum jelly, Vaseline type stuff on there just to clean up that thread a little bit, give us a bit more. Yeah, we know we're loose because I can poke something in there. Yeah, very good. We've definitely got a gap in there. So it's just a tight knot. Could I put some? I don't like putting WD-40 in there because it's going to hit the wood and it's going to soften the wood, and we certainly do not want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to remove the knot completely. I'm not going to retap anything, that won't be needed, but I am going to put a little bit of Vaseline on the thread. This is boring. I'll turn the camera off and I'll come back when I've got it all sorted. I decided not to remove the adjuster nut completely in case I couldn't get it back on, but what I have done is I've gone with a good hunk of Vaseline. So I have a little bit on the end of the screwdriver there, and we're going to put another hunk in there. And I'm just going to give this a couple of turns. It's already a lot looser than it was, and look at that. That's a lot better. Look at that now. Really good. So tighten it back up. Just bring it up to a couple of turns either way. Keep it working. And that is a lot looser than it was, a lot better. Like I said, I didn't want to go with WD-40. We don't want to be soaking the wood with that kind of stuff. And what I'm looking for is when it starts giving me a little bit of resistance. Keep going backwards and forwards. And that's not good. I'm going to put one more lube in there. Not lube, but some more, definitely more Vaseline in there. Shouldn't be doing that. We'll take the nut completely off. Change my mind. Again, camera off, I'll back soon. So I've removed the nut completely, we just a nut, and there's some, I got a, I just had a poke around in there, and there's this, I don't know what this gunk is, but that's just come out. Looks like earwax. Doesn't look very pleasant at all, I don't know what it is. But what we are going to do is I'm going to get a light pen in there, just have a quick look up there, if I can find my light pen. I did have a light pen. I do have a light pen. Okay, just a bit black and a bit gunky up there. There's nothing I can particularly do to make that any better. I can try and get some, what do you call them in America, a Q-tip in there and just clean that up a little, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to lubricate the thread. We'll get some, try and get as much Vaseline type stuff on there as we can. Well, not a mental amount, but you know, can you see in there? I don't know. Doesn't look so bad. The thread's okay. Just got a little bit of grime in there. So let me go and get a Q-tip. We'll have a clean around in there, and we'll get some more lube on there, and we'll get that nut back on. So I've been in there with a Q-tip and just giving it a little clean, and there is whatever was in there. Just a matter of getting a Q-tip in there, trying to get underneath. I don't know who did this refret on this guitar, but I'll tell you what, if he is a big name, he's not worthy of it. And this is what happens. I've seen this a lot, and I'm not calling anyone, but I've seen this a lot in the few years I've been doing this. There are some big name people even around these parts, or not too far away. And I've had guitars they've worked on and refrets they've done and stuff like that. And they've come into this workshop and I've ended up fixing the work they've done. And I'm thinking, I thought this guy's supposed to know what he's doing. Right, let's get rid of this crap. I don't know what it is. It is earwax. Is it earwax? No, I've got no idea. Of course it's not bloody earwax. So we have cleaned that up, that area. We can now see that the screw is silver. We are going to put some Vaseline, or in this case it's actually lip salve, lip chap, that my wife gave me. I'm going to get a load in there. And then I'm going to get a load more in there, because what doesn't go in comes out. So we're going to hopefully get this to go straight on. Just need to get it to bite. Not bitten yet, it will do. I should have this vertical for this bit. Let's just give it a touch, and we just need it to bite, and once it's bitten, and that's straight on, and that is beautiful. How's that for you? And that's going on a lot better now. Is whatever grease was on there is a thickening grease, and it's just got thicker, more time it's spent on there. And I should just be able to touch this around with a screwdriver, like so. And you'll see, it's a live TV, folks. And there you go. That's a lot better. Oh, that's a lot loose. That feels so good now. Look how much quicker that's gone on. I mean, I'm hardly touching this, it's just spinning straight around. So, my next thing to do is to go and email Dave. Dave has already told me he's a regular sleeper, so he can be asleep in the day, so I'm not going to call him. I always email him. First point of call, or first point of contact. Right, there you go. Okay, we have an overspill of, well, we're on cotton bud, here it is. Vaseline there, get rid of that. Yeah, so I'll email him, I'll drop off this job, I'll move on to something else. I've got plenty of stuff in to be getting on with. And I'm looking to hit the adjuster part. The more you get in, the less adjustment you've got. I'm doing like, I'm not even doing a quarter turn at the moment. Going about 1/8 of a turn at a time. Truss rod's still loose. Oh, I think we'll just hit it. There you go. We'll just hit it just there, right there. Resistance, right there. Resistance is futile. Well, there you go. That's done. That's cleaned up. So that's great. Very happy with that. So we fixed that. It wasn't really a problem, but we fixed that. We're going to have a look at the straightness of the fingerboard now. And these chipped areas are all really standing out. Right, okay. So we do have A lot of relief in there. A lot of relief. Relief. We're just about coming to straight. We have a very warped neck because it's an up and down like an umpty back camel. It's a bit like Loch Ness Monster. It's up and down in areas. We've got a gap at the end, then it touches wood, then we've got a gap in the middle, then it touches wood. So what we do in that scenario is we get it as level as we can. Once we've got it as level as we can, which I'm thinking, just about there, I'm going to give it one more 1/8 turn. And that to me is as level as I can get it. And what I'm going to do is, we're going to level the board as it is right there. I will show you all this from another camera angle. Yeah, that's it. That's as straight as we can get. That's perfect. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. That's as straight as we're going to get it. There is nothing that you could like. You can measure it. It'd be a 20th of a millimetre. So that is good to me. That is what I'm saying. It is playing position. So I'm going to sand and level the fingerboard as it is right there. I'm going to let it settle. Give it half an hour or so. And I'm going to come back to that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to slowly take you in with the camera and I'm going to show you all the chipped areas. And these chipped areas were here on the last fret job. They weren't fixed. And it really is quite shocking. So, and I'm going to end this part of the video, by the way, here. Get back up here. It's central. I'm going to call this part 2, and I'm going to move on to part 3. Now, at the end, when I've done all of the video, I'll make one long video, whether it's 2.5, 3 hours long or whatever. But I'm going to do this in sections because I'm going to post it to the Hamer Fan Club so people can have a look. I'm just going to grab a camera now and we're going to have a look. Let's get here. Right, well, I'll zoom it right out. I'm going to bring in the camera by hand, so it's going to get a little bit shaky, a little bit wobbly right now. Okay, and we are going to go, and we're going to go and look at the chips in the fingerboard. I'm going to start now, nice and slowly. And you can pause any time you like and have a look. These are what were left in by the last person who refretted this guitar, whoever that may be. I don't know who it was. Dave has not told me. He says, but you'll be astonished when you hear who it is. There you go. Turn the camera a little. I'm hoping you can see all those chips. I've got to repair those. And I will repair those. There you go. Let's call this end of part 2. I'll see you in part 3.